So I am Desiree Daniels. I am the Business Application Sales Executive for Microsoft, and I support our K-12s and our academic medical centers on everything business efficiency. So think about our Power Platform and Dynamics, helping you guys run and manage your businesses more efficiently, more connected, more intelligently. That is what Stan and myself do. So it's an honor to be here, and we hope you enjoy what we're going to be able to show you today. And Thomas, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Thank you, Desiree. So good morning, lunch, or afternoon, depending on where you're coming from. My name is Thomas Manders. I'm the founder and managing director of Coffee and Done. For the past 15 years, I've been focused on customer engagement solutions, and those cut across various industries from B2B to B2C to nonprofits to education. And really, all of those industries provide unique experiences that have embellished and empowered our team, the Coffee and Done folks, to deliver the best solutions for each of our clients. As a parent of four, I am well versed in some of the challenges of educating children and trying to maintain control across, their individual curriculum, their schools. At one point, I had each of four kids in four different schools. So I know the challenges. I also have a high school senior right now who's going through the offer process and reviewing programs and scholarships and housing and all that good stuff. And so it's a firsthand experience for me. So here we're excited to share our experience and our perspectives for both higher ed and K-12. And some of the engagement challenges and opportunities that educators face, and how Coffee and Done and Microsoft are collaborating to deliver solutions for you. So as not to distract, I'm going to go ahead and go off camera, and then you can focus on the content. But please, as we go through, I think you're able to raise hands or put notes in chat, and we'll try to address any questions that you may have. So let's talk briefly, a quick introduction of Coffee and Done. Our mission is to connect educators with solutions and expertise that deliver effective student-first strategies to drive engagement and optimize experiences. We're a 10-year Microsoft exclusive partner whose origins started in the marketing operations and automation space. And since our start, we've developed best-in-class process that begins with strategic planning sessions designed to draw out our clients' most pressing objectives and challenges and apply the highest and best use of advanced capabilities within the Dynamics 365 platform to achieve positive outcomes. Our goal is to build strong partnerships with our clients and develop a roadmap for success. We have a unique team of world-class consultants and solution architects, all of whom are certified on at least two of the Dynamics application components or Power Platform components around which we provide services. Our view of success is built around this concept of the synergistic value of strategy, technology, and operations. We believe all three elements are critical for success. We understand that every organization is unique, and so our proven approach seeks to understand what makes your organization tick. Who are your customers, whether they're students, parents, partners, members, or actual customers? How do they want to engage with you, and how to automate those engagements, and then how to execute? So this robust strategic planning, flawless implementation, execution and training, and collaboration around execution support are what we call plan, build, run. We've leveraged plan, build, run successfully across all of our engagements now for over the last 5 years, and certainly around all of our work with Dynamics 365. We do have a number of clients that are within the education space or serve the education space. All of these are clients of both Coffee and Done and Microsoft. Let me mention a few of those for context. One of them is the Tennessee Department of Education. It's dedicated. They are dedicated to the goal of dramatically improving student achievements for grades K through 12. The public education system has 147 districts with almost 1 million enrolled and has significant populations in both rural and urban areas. The Tennessee Department of Education is partnering with Coffee and Dunn and Microsoft to streamline and improve their communications between the agency, internal staff, state legislatures, and district communications. On the bottom center is Montgomery County Community College. They're in Pennsylvania. It is on a path to transform their student experience through the alignment of process, strategy, and technology on the Dynamics platform. Like many higher ed institutions, they've accumulated many point solutions over the years and often struggled to access the data needed to consistently and relevantly engage their students, prospects, and alumni. In collaboration with Coffee and Dunn, MC3 is redefining the student experience journey, identifying signature moments, and within it, define the content needs to engage students where they are. We've also worked with Gatorade Performance Partner. This one may seem odd for the education space, but there's actually a group within Gatorade that focuses on research and education for athletes in the sports community. With a focus on high schools and colleges, the G-Force team engages athletic directors, trainers, sport coaches, and school administration around developing healthy programs for student athletes in the space of hydration, nutrition, and performance. Coffee and Dunn has worked with Gatorade since 2019 to implement Dynamics 365 for outreach and engagement for over 400,000 professionals across 25,000 high schools and colleges in North America. So these are examples of the types of engagements that Microsoft and Coffee and Dunn have taken on to help transform each of these organizations to be more successful and more engaged with their customers or their students. So let's talk about our discussion today. Our goal is around empowering educators to transform student engagement into student-centered experience with Microsoft. Successful institutions know that creating a connected experience begins with putting the student at the center of everything that your institution does. It requires creating personalized experiences at scale, cultivating a sense of belonging, and communicating with students in a manner that they prefer. Today, the environment challenges educators to evaluate their technology, their operations, their engagement strategies, so they can empower themselves to respond faster to student needs, increase retention, and drive graduation rates. That's why educators of all size are turning to Coffee and Dunn, Microsoft Dynamics Education Accelerator to create connected experiences. They drive both student and institution success. With pre-built entities for aspects of the student profiles, the EDU Accelerator speeds implementation and ensures alignment of data in critical areas of the student profile. So before we jump in, we're going to run through a poll. Susanna, do you want to try?
Sure thing. Our first poll is centered around your engagement strategy. So which of the options below most closely align with your engagement strategy today?
And Susanna, I believe you do have to submit and then clear the poll. Is that correct?
That's right. You can X right on the top right of the modal. Yep. Perfect.
All right. All right. Do we want to share any results from that, Susanna?
I think we may still be accumulating them.
Okay. All right.
We may actually include them as part of the Q&A, Thomas, if we want to go ahead and go into the first part.
All right. Sounds good. Let's move forward. So thank you for that. So today we'll walk through two scenarios sharing examples of how Coffee and Dunn leverages the Microsoft Dynamics Customer Engagement and EDU Accelerator to transform your organization to be student-centric, efficient, and scalable without continuing to add headcount. All of the engagement content you'll see today is created within Dynamics, and I think that's a key point for what we're going to show. Dynamics Customer Engagement, or CE, is comprised of native and configurable capabilities for lead and contact management, for students, for parents, alumni, as well as faculty, staff, business partners, and more. Dynamics Marketing, which is a part of that platform, offers communication capabilities via email, SMS, push notifications, web forms, social, and more. Dynamics Customer Service, which we'll also show, allows for the management of cases or service events or support requests. And so customer service offers also a virtual chat or Power Virtual Agent and knowledge articles to automate the support process in advance of a human intervention. The Microsoft Power Platform is Microsoft's low-code configuration options for automated notifications, business process workflows, Power BI dashboards, and Power Pages for portals. Say that fast. So our 2 vignettes will highlight these different capabilities. In addition, the Microsoft Education Accelerator, now on version 5, incorporates over 80 additional tables and EDU-specific attributes and forms, supporting both K-12 and higher ed. So we'll highlight the different capabilities in each vignette as we go through. So the first vignette models student internship programs, leveraging Dynamics Marketing, events, SMS, Power Page Portal, and Teams webinar. And in the second scenario, we'll address parent and community engagement, leveraging Dynamics Customer Service, the EDU Accelerator, Customer Voice Surveys, Power Pages, and Power BI. So let's go through our first vignette. What we're showing here is to describe how a student, Kevin, will explore opportunities for internship programs within his school. So on the slide, you'll see 2 personas, Kevin, the high school student, and Jen, the internship administrator. The scenario is that Kevin isn't totally sure what his post-secondary plans are, but wants to explore his options. So he begins with web engagement. He sees that there is a webinar available for internship. And so Kevin receives a reminder of communications via the SMS, and later will receive post-event communications. Kevin signs up to meet with Jen, explore the internship program, and then ultimately receives more information about the program after their meeting. Some of the things we're going to show, sorry, Suzanne, I'm a little behind you, is the web engagement. With that, we'll be able to show both the web and UTM tracking for lead capture information. We'll show trigger-based transactional communications with triggers, emails, SMS integration, all within the real-time marketing engine of Dynamics. Native Teams integration to facilitate the webinar, and then a centralized 360 view of student activity and engagement through the EDU Accelerator. Okay, so now let's kick this off. On the slide, you're seeing a landing page built within Dynamics for the event registration, and it captures Kevin's personal information as well as his interests around business management and administration. What's notable here is all this information is captured and pushed into Dynamics directly. There's also hidden fields here, or UTM for UTM parameters that are capturing the medium, that the website or the social area that Kevin came from, whether it's a post or ad, and then the actual campaign that it was associated with. So we're able to see for different types of advertisements or posts when people come to our site and register for a webinar, where they came from. All of this funnels back to the contact record within Dynamics and is used to automatically trigger additional communications. There's no list uploads required, no manual intervention. All of this is happening automatically. There are some concepts here at play too. For Dynamics, what we're fundamentally focused on is the idea of a perpetual record that is constantly updated with profile and status changes and behavioral insights. And so the notion here is moving away from static lists. So as Kevin fills out the form, what happens next is all this information is brought into Dynamics, as mentioned. And so on this slide, Jen can see that Kevin's required data and interests are directly within Dynamics. We see a full contact record for Kevin, and across the top are tabs with various dimensions about Kevin's profile, including one in the middle right called Connections via the EDU Accelerator. For examples, these connections might include things like Kevin's administrator, advisors, any children, parents, doctors, guardians, really any relatives or any connected humans to Kevin that we might want to keep track of. We can also see Kevin's course enrollments, areas of interest, and more. Based on Kevin's registration, he now receives an internship, or sorry, an email regarding the webinar. And so on this email, you're seeing that the email is personalized for Kevin, the registrant, and it's also personalized around the event, the internship connections. So with Dynamics Marketing, you're able to build personalization into your emails so that it's drawing off of the contact record for Kevin and the event record for the internship connections. A unique registration link is created within Dynamics and specifically for Teams login. This will be a virtual event, so the native connection with Teams is built within Dynamics. Also, robust functionality for events is within Dynamics, whether it's virtual or face-to-face. In the case of face-to-face, there's significant capability around event speakers, sponsors, event logistics, funding, expense management, and so forth. And so all of the capabilities, again, are within Dynamics. There's also, you'll notice on this particular slide that there is AI-based content ideas. And so basically the way that works is within Dynamics, you can add up to 5 key points that you want to get across in your email. Those ideas will then be summarized and analyzed, and AI will render content ideas that make text suggestions within your emails. So one of many areas where Dynamics is using AI to drive performance. So on the next slide, we see that Kevin has received an SMS communication, including the sender number and personalized message. This, again, is built natively within Dynamics. Kevin could also receive an email version of the same. And so, again, both of these are built within Dynamics. There's also capability around A/B testing or channel testing between channels. So not just different forms of email, but actually email versus SMS. And so we're able to optimize our communications and really target each member of our audience with the preferred channel of their choice. There is a QR code that's rendered that allows us to check in Kevin quickly if it's an in-person event. And we can also personalize any further communications with Kevin. All right, so next we go to the portal. So we can also see that Kevin has access to the portal. And so after the webinar, he wishes to create a meeting with his advisor. And so that portal, as you see in the middle, or I'm sorry, on the left navigation, includes many, many dimensions that are available through the Microsoft EDU Accelerator, as well as some general information around upcoming assignments, appointments, and so forth. All right, so now that the advisor has access to all of Kevin's information, she can see all those interactions that have happened between Kevin relative to his emails, to texts, web visits. All of those are available in that common profile that's available to his advisor. So Jen is notified of Kevin's interest. She sees the rich profile. She can specifically see all the interactions, and then basically respond accordingly, ultimately making recommendations to Kevin based on her understanding of his interests, needs, and his behaviors to date. So let's recap. What we're doing with Dynamics in this scenario is building a connected experience that requires an outside-in view of the student engagement, as well as how to connect custom journeys to move students through an entire life cycle. In this particular case, we've used Dynamics to deliver consistent and personalized communications through coordinated journeys aligned with the customized student pathways. We've coordinated and synchronized communications based on key timing, activity, and student lifecycle stage from anywhere. We've improved organizational productivity with automated tasks and streamlined workflows, and we're able to eliminate silos with engagement orchestration that maximizes the impact and improves the overall student experience. So let's take another poll.
So the second poll focuses on how you communicate with your audiences today. This could be the use of a single third-party tool or application, several platforms or modes of communication that may be based on a given audience, parents, students, or the community at large. Finally, it could be an internal system that's built and maintained within your organization. You can enter your selection now. Great. We'll continue to get those responses. Thomas, if you'd like to move forward to the next vignette.
All right, thank you, Susanna. So our second vignette is focused on parent and community engagement. In this vignette, we will focus on the parents and community that support the student. In this case, this is just one of many, many scenarios where parents are involved or the broader community is involved. In this case, we'll be talking about an absenteeism issue with the student. The goal is to drive interest and demand with the content and messaging, leveraging personalization and easy assembly of visual content. We'll gain efficiencies through Microsoft collaboration, benefiting from a single common database. We'll empower administrators with the engagement analytical tools and native analytics coupled with Power BI, and then seamlessly continue the conversation through Teams chat and portal integration. So this scenario, we have four participants. This is a classroom scenario where the teacher, Ava, has submitted attendance and noticed that Mateo has excessive absences. That auto triggers a notification to the counselor, Mary, to intervene. She will review the case and Mateo's contact record and determine it's valid to add Mateo's parent, Brian, who in a segment that notifies him that a case has been opened for his child. Brian logs into the customized parent portal, enters a reason for the absence, which updates the case and notifies Mary. Mary reviews and closes the case, and this triggers an email with a customer voice survey back to Brian. The district can see all of this activity at a macro level on the case and preemptive action. Let's dig in. So on this slide, we're seeing Mary is able to see the student profile and notices that there's absentees for Mateo. And so the contact record shows student contact info, parents, advisor, counselor, course enrollments, interests, etc. The left navigation that you see here shows only a fraction of the content that's developed within the Dynamics, the EDU accelerator around courses and assessments, etc. This view allows access to all different dimensions of student profiles. As you can see across the top where the attendance is highlighted, there's a series of additional tabs that drill down into deeper elements of this particular student profile. So in this scenario, a personalized email is sent to the parent when a case has been opened about the child with a link to the portal. So in this email can include personalization from the greeting, as you see the student's name, the case reason, and then a direct link to the parent portal. Direct links to the portal make it easy for Brian, the parent, to respond quickly and engage to solve the issue. When Brian clicks on the link, he's brought to the parent portal. And again, we see a simple sign in. Brian can log into the portal. The portal shows only what's relevant to the user. So in this case, he can see the attendance is the issue. Brian can also initiate a Power Virtual Agent chat. And so we see in the bottom right, he goes through the chat discussion to try and resolve the issue. He's able to respond then and provide a reason for Mateo's absence. And so now when we see the faculty view of this, they're able to see that in the center here, Brian has responded to update the case and indicate why Mateo was absent, and also chat amongst both the teacher and the counselor about any other details relevant to this case. And so you see a chat box in the bottom right that is native within Dynamics, and ability for any of the faculty to collaborate or chat around any of the particular cases, and it's context sensitive. Brian can see, I'm sorry. So with that in mind, the case is connected to the faculty, to the parent, and to the student with a centralized database. All the activity captured can be viewed by any of those at the particular time. Now, as we move to post case, Brian receives an invitation to fill out a satisfaction survey. Based on the completion of the case, that survey allows Brian to provide feedback to the district and to the school about their response to that particular case. Customer voice surveys, which you see on the right here, can add and configure satisfaction metrics. They can add logic by creating branching values. They can personalize your survey by adding variables. You can create multi-language surveys. You can certainly brand and format your survey, and you can add different elements to your surveys. One of the elements noted here is the customer satisfaction in the bottom right. And so we're able to capture that, and then you'll see in a moment, we're able to aggregate all those scores to provide a district-wide performance level. So in this view, Mary, the counselor, is able to look across all of the cases and determine the level of performance for the school in this case. And so we can see key insights up at the top around customer satisfaction scores, around any actions. There's a way to filter this dashboard to focus in on individual cases or cases by campus, by counselor. In the bottom right, you see the actual customer satisfaction score, as well as a sentiment score that's available through Azure ML sentiment analysis. So Microsoft's Power BI allows users to create user-friendly dashboards that are dimensional, that are drillable, and able to present information in a cohesive and simplified way for users to make better decisions. So let's wrap up this scenario. This was an orchestrated student journey, that allows educators to leverage Microsoft Dynamics technology to personalize engagement and serve students, parents, and communities in the ways they want and expect. So we create the student or parent-led journeys based on real-time multi-channel interactions and triggers. We drive interest and demand with content and messaging driven by data intelligence to maximize segmented engagement levels. We can gain efficiencies using Microsoft collaboration and content automation tools. We can empower administrators with engagement and analytic tools to inform where to invest and connect, and seamlessly continue the conversation informed by a unified timeline of student activity. So I hope this example can explain another scenario where multiple parties are able to engage in a seamless manner across the Dynamics platform. Again, everything you're seeing was built through Dynamics, connected through Dynamics. All the entry points, whether it's for faculty and staff, for parents, or for students, are all sharing a common database. So there's a single version of the truth with timely and relevant information to all parties. All right, So let's do one more poll. Go ahead, Susanna.
So the final poll focuses on challenges that you're experiencing today as it relates to student engagement. You have three options. The first is around decentralized student data. So data that lives in multiple systems, disparate systems across your ecosystem. Second, around messaging, how you're distributing that messaging across the entire learner lifecycle. And finally, any non-student communication, be that to the parent, administration, or the community at large. You can enter your responses now. Great. We'll continue to get those responses as we go into Q&A. Thomas?
Right. So yeah, we do want to open it up to questions. I don't know if any have come in along the way through chat, or if not, if it's open, ability to open up verbally, please feel free.
I see a few that are here, Thomas. The first is every year we add more and more students to our database. What is the impact of this increase on license cost?
That's a great question. So I'll take a first pass at that. Obviously, open it up to the Microsoft folks as well from a pure licensing standpoint. But that's one of the great advantages of Dynamics and this very scalable platform. Operationally, the number of students really has a limited impact on how we can construct and configure the solution to serve the needs of the institution. There are, a massive set of capabilities around segmenting different audiences, around communicating through different channels, around engaging around different scenarios, providing analytics back through all those. And so by using the Dynamics platform, the sheer volume of students can be managed very well. The licensing impact really is only impacted around the Dynamics marketing and customer insights programs, where there are contact packs that reflect the volume of contacts that the institution's engaging with. Those tend to be nominal increases, presuming that a base level of students, for instance, if there's 100,000 students, that if that increases, 20% or 40% over a few years, the license impact will be relatively nominal, and the configuration or the use of the system will be pretty much consistent, even with those increased volumes. I don't know if anyone wants to share more from a licensing standpoint, but generally speaking, the licensing is tailored around users for customer service and around audience for marketing.
Correct. And I can add a little bit more context there, Thomas, too. So with licensing, we'll always ask you for use cases. You're going to hear that a lot, and we back into it. And so for marketing, it is a tenant-wide license, which is really awesome. That means that you buy it for the entire district or institution to use. And then what Thomas was saying, if you need additional contacts, you can buy that to reach to help you get to the max number that you need for that use case. So it allows you to grow very organically. And then for customer service, again, it is based on some factors there that we help, but for customer service, it is per user, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone you think will need that license actually needs that license. We can also leverage the Power Platform to help extend that use case. And that's why we always like to dive into it. Licensing is, I think everyone jokes you need to have a PhD for it, but Stan and I try to make it really easy. It's just based on the use case. So, great question.
The next question focuses on dynamic content. Can we pull in personalized data from other systems to populate content in our emails?
Another great question. So personalization is a very strong component of Dynamics and Dynamics marketing specifically around email and other SMS, other channels, as well as web pages. That personalization is based on the ability to connect a contact record or lead record with another attribute that can be related to that contact or lead record. So for systems, data that's in other systems, we recommend the use of customer insights, where a rich customer profile can be built within customer insights, and then those additional attributes from an external system can be used as part of the segmentation and personalization of emails.
The next question we have is, some of the systems I have today accomplish the same goals as Dynamics 365 does. So what's the point of Dynamics 365?
It's a really good question. So indeed, we do recognize that both K-12 higher ed institutions are doing a lot of these activities today. What we've discovered in our many interactions with those institutions is that they're struggling to do that seamlessly, efficiently, or to scale those operations without adding headcount. And so what Dynamics 365 is doing is allowing you to centralize a lot of these operations onto a single platform with a single database. And so many of the point solutions that are currently in use can start to be sunset or removed and decommissioned over time. We understand that that's a transformation process. It doesn't happen overnight. And so a lot of the work that Coffee and Done does is help clients develop a blueprint and roadmap where you can, over a period of time, in line with resources, capacity, and budget, be able to transition from a multi-vendor environment or many vendor environment to a platform approach with Dynamics at the center, and perhaps some additional vendors that may stay in place. But the idea being much more consolidation of skills, of capabilities, standard look and feel, and obviously the huge benefit of having all the data in a central location.
And then a question that's just, oh, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, for that question, because that's a really good question, as Thomas was saying. When you're thinking about the Microsoft platform, everything is that integrated connectivity. So within Dynamics, you will be able to leverage Teams, you'll be able to leverage Outlook, you're going to be able to plug in and even leverage the Power Platform. So it just builds on each other very organically. And so as Thomas was saying, it's easier to manage long term, and it scales with your business. Which is really important too, as you're trying to consolidate and make your business more efficient and more connected.
Great, thanks, Desiree.
The next question is, how long does it take to transform our current practices to leverage and implement what you've shared today?
Another great question. There's always the caveat of it depends. Right. So transformation does have a lot of factors that drive the pace and the degree of success in that transformation. In general strokes, we've seen transformations that happen typically over a 12 to 36 month time period, depending on, again, the scope of transformation, the nature of the organization, certainly things like budget and resource availability. Decision making, all those elements play into the speed with which an organization can transform. Generally, as I mentioned early on, the Coffee and Done plan, build, run methodology is designed such that upfront there's an assessment of the current state and an understanding of the future state goals, the requirements, the priorities, and understanding the different dependencies between those goals and objectives and the barriers to getting there. And so what comes out of that planning phase is a blueprint and a roadmap. Typically, the roadmap lays out a multi-phase journey, a crawl, walk, run type experience that brings on capabilities for different departments or different groups or different business functions, usually in a step-by-step approach. It's rare that there's an entire lift and shift of the entire organization. That we haven't seen that happen typically, especially in something as broad as this scope here. And so, generally speaking, there is a phased approach that can start immediately following that planning and begin getting value soon. We do try to target some quick win areas as part of the methodology so that there's some nice return coming right out of the gate. And then the organization continues to advance and roll out more functionality, and in turn, hopefully removing some vendors that are no longer necessary, vendor solutions.
For any additional questions not yet submitted in Q&A, feel free to raise your hand and we can unmute them. You can ask directly.
Not seeing any additional questions. Susanna, do we want to run through the poll results just to get a sense of where folks are at?
Sure. I believe those are currently available in the chat. Let's see if we should have gone ahead and closed
okay,
those.
sorry.
No problem at all. So the question regarding communication tactics with your audiences today, it looks like a majority of the group uses different platforms, modes of communication, based on a given audience.
Okay, great.
For the question related to the current engagement strategy, it looks like we have a bit of a mix, a slight edge on those who have a strategy in place, but no tools to fully support the execution of that strategy. There were a handful of you who also had somewhat of a strategy in place and some tools to support.
Okay.
And finally, the poll regarding the biggest challenge when it comes to student engagement. Just a couple of responses there, but they cover both data, so the decentralized student data, as well as distributing content across the entire learner lifecycle.
Great. Okay. Well, that's very interesting to see the different conditions of each of our participants. You know, as we've been discussing, the Dynamics platform and Microsoft EDU Accelerator can really help companies standardize on a way of working that is common across the institution, can start to improve IT efficiency through fewer vendors, common UI, reduce the training burden, support burden, and so forth. And so a lot of what we're really targeting here is helping these institutions create a scalable, innovative platform that they can build their organization around, and again, thrive off of the innovation that Microsoft is providing in this Dynamics platform. So I want to, I guess, wrap up my side. Thank you so much for your attention. We do want to make one offer to all of you who attended. We are presenting a transformation framework guide. We'll provide that post-event. That will allow you to have a brief assessment of your current institution and capabilities in a number of key areas. We will offer a work session, no obligation work session, to work through and identify potential best practices and specific challenges with your organization and where we can potentially help, and then deliver a customized transformation framework. So this is something we'd like to do for each of you on the call. please click on the link when that's provided, and we'll be happy to set up that meeting. So thank you again for your time today.
Thank you, Thomas, and thank you, Coffee and Done team. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for today's webinar. We're going to go ahead and wrap up 10 minutes early, so hopefully you have some time to grab some more coffee or run and go get something before your next meeting. Again, so thankful for your time. Have a wonderful day.